What's up? I don't know if I ever showed this doorknob thing, but it is a protector for a doorknob. And what it does is it protects it. It helps protect the dryer from the impact of the door hitting the dryer. Hey, what's up? Well, I'm making a video, and I don't know if you can tell that those lights are on or not. I really don't know if you can tell. So I'm just going to put that back on. But this could very easily be my very last video that I make and release ahead of Christmas. And I don't want to postpone this one till the new year. But if I make any more between now and Christmas, they could easily get postponed until the week after Christmas or even the year 2025, which, oh my gosh, that just feels so weird. And I'm wearing my Christmas t-shirt because hopefully this is our last warm spell before Christmas. And it says Merry Christmas. And so yeah, what I want to talk about in this video is a number of things. First of all, I got this cute little winter themed, she's like a Chelsea clone from Five Below, and I'm very tempted to never remove her from the package. Her name is Zoe, and I bought her because she was special. She was like in the snow, but she doesn't look white. So she could be like an Eskimo, you know, she's got long braids. I don't know what she is, but I just thought it was cool. And may never remove her from the package. And so I'm pretty much having to only buy things from the store because the chances of something coming in between now and Christmas are just not good. You know, I mean, I think I want to postpone this video for about a week, you know, because I have some other videos in the queue. And I did get my hair cut, maybe not as severely, but, you know, I'm really not liking that two-tone look to my hair. Really hating it. It's like gray here, brown there. And I want to talk about a number of things in this video. You know, one of them, you know, like I just discussed, that door stopper that I never posted a picture of in use. I don't know if I have some in my teeth or not, but should have brushed them. But anyway, so what I want to talk about in this video while I have a chance, I want to title it Taco Tuesday, you know, because that's what today was, Tuesday the 17th. Sometimes that can be worse than Friday the 13th. And I don't know what they're going to do with the schedule next week, how they're going to work around the fact that Wednesday is normally garbage day around here. But with Christmas also being a Wednesday, I don't know how it can be garbage day, so it'll probably be the very next day. So, I want to title it Taco Tuesday and say that regardless of how my mom feels about this, you know, she makes fun of how every taco has to be Taco Tuesday, and it isn't. See, this is what people don't understand, you know, is, I mean, you can call it OCD, but I have very specific reasons for doing things the way that I do them. You know, whether or not it makes sense to other people is irrelevant to me. And in my case, it isn't so much that a taco tastes better on a Tuesday. It's the fact that having certain foods on certain days, though not always, you know, this week was an exception, and I'm going to have to remember that it's garbage day. Yeah, I think I'll still be able to do that. But having certain foods on certain days is not really about the taste of the food, because, you know, I mean, let's face it, I mean, a taco tastes the same no matter what day of the week it is. And so do other foods that we end up eating on pretty much the same day every week without much variation. You know, there's no logical reason to have fish on Friday, but we just like the alliteration of it. And turkey on Thursdays, I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. It can be a turkey Sunday, but the fact that Thanksgiving is a Thursday just often puts us on track around that time of year for turkey to be on a Thursday. And what the hell is wrong with that? And they both start with a T. Fish and Friday both start with an F. So anyway, it's not so much about that something is better because it's done on a certain day of the week. It's more or less you get into a routine and you just start to expect things to be a certain way. And as long as, even if, it doesn't have to be that way, you just come to rely on that, whatever it is, it just becomes your norm. And so because we've kind of settled into this routine of having tacos on a Tuesday, most of the time, maybe not 100% of the time, but most weeks, I'll make the tacos on a Tuesday because it helps me remember to put out the trash and make sure that everything is in it. I mean, yeah, I could remember to put out the trash, but I could forget to put half of what I wanted to throw away in it. And that's as big of a problem as not putting out the trash. So, I just wanted to talk about that, about how, I like to have Taco Tuesday. And the other thing is, I'm the only person whose Mexican food I thoroughly enjoy, because I always worry that you go eat somewhere, it's going to be too spicy. And at Taco Bell, it isn't necessarily spicy, it's just too expensive for so little, like you can get, for the same amount of money that you would pay at Taco Bell, I mean, you can make your own tacos that'll, just have you stuffed to the point where, like, you can make the same amount of food for so much less, is what I'm trying to say. You get so little for your money at Taco Bell. And personally, I don't have the issue of, it giving me diarrhea because I just order the things that I know will not do that. But you just pay so much for so little, and that's one of the cheapest places you can go eat is Taco Bell. But, so, I just want to talk about how, things settle into a certain routine. And you start to establish things being a certain way. And while it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, it's just what you come to expect, like listening to music, you expect a certain song to play next. It's like if you listen to a CD, let's say through the third song and turn it off. Well, if you've heard that CD many a times before, well, guess what? Your mind will instinctively start playing number 4 in your head. It's like in your tonal memory, You complete song 3, then shut it off, and your mind will start with the intro of song number 4 immediately. Because it expects it. And it's just like anything else. I expect things to be a certain way. And when they're not, well, it may not be the end of the world. It puts me in a bad mood. Very bad mood. Because sometimes, you can forget things. You can be very inconvenienced by minor things not being done the way they normally are and should be done. And I have anger issues, and that can be very bad for me, like if I didn't have tacos one Tuesday, had something different, and as a result, my brain just didn't think of it, it didn't feel like a Tuesday. And so I'd go to bed and then wake up and, oh my God, the trash picked up what was in the can, but I didn't put a number of things in it because I forgot that it was garbage day. So anyway, hopefully that won't happen. But just want to talk about that, how, you just get into routines and you expect certain things. And when they're not what you expect, the things can be very, very bad. It can like start out just a minor little thing, but that minor little thing can just irritate you into having a really bad day. and then a really bad week, and so on. And so I just wanted to talk about that. And the other thing I want to talk about, like, oh yeah, and other things like, putting a certain color pants on a certain color hanger. No, obviously it doesn't have to be that way, like if they had never invented colorful hangers and all hangers, were like white or metal or whatever without color. I mean, I guess it wouldn't, I guess you'd be able to live, I guess you'd be able to breathe, but the point is, it makes my life so much easier and simpler to have my pants on a corresponding matching hanger that is similar to the color that they are. Black pants on black hangers, gray pants on gray hangers, blue jeans on blue hangers, blue pants on a different kind of blue hanger, and so on. My one and only red pair of pants on a red hanger. It's like I invested in those colorful hangers in part to make them a labeling system. That's what they are. They are a labeling system. My mom may not fully understand this, when she does my laundry, and my dad would never understand it, which is obviously why I never have him do my laundry. People may not fully understand that because, to most people, it's like you just put whatever on whatever hanger you can grab. Well, no, it saves me a lot of time, when I need to find a specific outfit. You know what I'm saying? It saves me time getting ready to have color-coded hangers on my pants so that I know which is which. You know what I'm saying? And like, just minor things like, that zip-up bag up there that I put hanging up to put little tiny ankle socks in that bag. And like if I wanted to wash doll clothes, like if I ordered a doll that I didn't trust to be clean because it's vintage or something and very well used, well, you put small items in a little zip-up pouch, and that saves so much time, so that they don't get lost in the wash. And, I've just learned the hard way about so many of those things that it's not really even a matter of preference anymore, but just a matter of making life simpler, more pleasant, easier to remember, easier to understand. And, things like that are the reason why I'm able to keep my memories straight in my head in a way that other people can't. In a way that other people have no hope of doing ever. Because I've been able to do such things like that all my life, to keep things straight. Like my matte pencils, always putting them away in rainbow order. Well, that isn't just about the looks of having a freaking rainbow in a beat-up box in my bag, beat-up cardboard box that says Crayola. It's about so much more than that. It's about knowing where a certain color matte pencil is the next time I want to use that pencil. Half of them could be sharpened down to the point of you may as well just throw them all out and get a new one, which I don't do that. But I still had this way of wanting to color, wanting to put them in the right order, wanting to color coordinate my notebooks. And I just did ridiculous things all throughout school and college. Just to try to keep things straight in bizarre ways that didn't really make sense to others. I guess you could say I'm OCD. But, things like that. It's like you just get into a routine where you expect certain things to be a certain way. And when that certain way is disrupted in a major way, it's very, very bad. Very bad. And it's bad beyond, what other people would understand as bad. I mean, they don't understand. Because see, so many people just don't have things that certain way, and so they think I'm weird for wanting them to be, because that's not how they have them in the first place. They can't find half their socks. They don't know where half their clothing are, so they just wear the same thing all the time, and, their life is chaos. And, the thing about the colds, I keep going back to that. And it's just so infuriating how so many people will mention the diapers. They don't want to change poopy diapers. That's why they don't want to have kids. Well, as I've stated before, however awful the diapers may be, and really for me, the awful thing about the diapers is the germ exposure, not the smell. However awful the diapers may be, they should really only be in them for maybe a couple of years, maybe, 2 or 3 years, depending on their gender. And after that, they get out of the diapers eventually. In all but a few extremely rare cases, they do. But my bigger issue would be with the freaking colds. And I don't know why. Everybody, you see, because everybody else lives under this misconception that they are the same exact person before, during, and after they get a cold. Yeah, they don't understand how I view people with colds and how I think about colds and how I think about vomiting. And it's all about me. It's not about the child. Because, people like to say, well, if you don't put them in daycare or something like that, they'll just get the colds later on and they'll miss more school. Well, for me, it's not about the child. And when the child strengthens their immune system, it's about me. It's about I don't want to, after never having a year with 2 or more colds, let alone 3, 4, etc., never having a year like that since I was 23. Put this into perspective. With every year, it becomes more outlandish to imagine raising a child. But I have not had a year with just two or more clinical colds. I have not had a year where I can say that I had 2 or more colds, and believe you me, I have a vivid memory of every cold that I've had since 97. I've never had that happen since the age of 23. I turned 24, and from that point onward, every age year in my life has had no more than exactly 1 cold. And of course, 4 of them had 0, but 0 is not as common as 1. So it's a mode average of about 1, a mean average of every 12 to 18 months. One thing I've found that makes the math a lot easier, when you think about the number of colds that someone gets in a year's time, you divide that number by the 10 months of the school year, because really June and July should pretty much be off the table. You really, it's rare to get a cold in June or July for me, or it always was. But, so you think about the 10 months of the school year from August to May, and that makes the math a lot easier. So when I was averaging about 5 colds a year, in my second decade of life, and oh yes, I was. When I was getting about 5 colds per year, at least, during that time period, you divide that by 10, that's about every other month, every 2 months. And so when it dropped down in college to roughly on average, well, actually it started off 4, to be honest, then it very sharply declined to just 2 or 3 or something, as my sister got older, primarily. That's the main reason. Let's face it, that's the main reason. It wasn't me getting it from college. It was her still bringing it home like a little child. And as she got bigger and older, she didn't bring home as many. So, once it dropped down to about like 2 to 3, that's like getting a cold about every 3 months. So like, it'd be like September, December, March on average. So all seasons except summer. And if you're getting 4 colds a year, that's like every 2 to 3 months, like in 7th grade. And if you're getting 2 colds a year, that's like 1 per semester, which briefly was mine ever at that level. It went pretty sharply from 4 all the way down to 1 by the age of 24. Like I got 4 at age 20, and then at age 24 I got 1, from there on out, no more than that. And it was my sister going from 11 to 15 that created that change in my life. So If you're getting only one per year, obviously, or less than one per year, that's one every 12 to 18 or more months. So, about every 12 to 18 months on average is about how many colds I've been getting from 24 onward. So when you've been getting only one cold and no more every 12 to 18 months, or one clinical respiratory infection, because I don't differentiate between like colds, flu, COVID, etc. Because if I did, it would even be less than that. So one respiratory infection every 12 to 18 months. When you fall into a pattern like that and you stay in that pattern for an extended period of time, I mean, any increase at all, a jump from just 1 to 2 per year, I mean, that's like a 100% increase. And so, that is my issue with not wanting to have kids, primarily. The common cold is by far the biggest deal breaker. It isn't, not so much the poop. And also, vomiting, that's not just something I take lightly. Me vomiting, it isn't something you just wipe your mouth and go on with life and pretend like nothing happened. Well, no, that isn't how I see it. And I lose respect for people that do see it that way and would actually engage in behaviors like drinking that would make it more likely to happen. So yeah. For me, the deal breaker is, getting more colds. That's why I don't want to have more kids. And because I remember how I felt about my teachers and how I would lose respect for them, as they would miss work or, have to deal with their sick kids and also be sick on top of on top of having to miss for their sick kids, they also have to miss because they got too sick to go to work. So as I've stated before, the job suffers for the kids and the kids suffer for the job simultaneously. You cannot separate the two. You can't be as good at either one as if that were all you had. Stay-at-home moms are the best, and childless women are the best teachers. So yeah, this video's gone on way too long, and I'll go ahead and post it.